I just got back CTF Outside from the art team, which is now officially called CTF Titan Pass, and I'm working on a gameplay pass on a map. Just going in and making sure that is this map still playable in the same form that it was before in the shell form, which, naturally the shell is kind of the purest form gameplay-wise, so there have to be some sort of concessions to be made. I love these surfaces here that you can see are now neatly tucked behind what used to be the original shell, poking out and creating some, things that you could get hung up on. So in order to facilitate people being able to still wall run on these spots, to kind of go in and just nip tuck a lot of this stuff and push it back. Same in these kind of areas where once you actually go ahead and select some of the blocking volumes here that make up the collision, you can see how clean those surfaces really actually are after the fact, but there's still breathing room underneath that to give it some organicness and let it breathe there. The only thing that's really important to us from a gameplay standpoint is that when meshes are applied to the map, they don't sit on top of the original BSP, and we're trying really, really hard to maintain the original dimensions so we don't end up with maps that are sort of ever shrinking, because as you layer and layer stuff on there, the play spaces will feel tighter and more claustrophobic. We're definitely also continuing to work on it. We're definitely not done with it since we're a living project. There's a ton of things that we still want to touch up on and improve, and it's an evolving process.
When these guys first started, we had Goobas Concepts. We had a nice kind of clean white rock with some moss on it. There were some green areas. The castle block was meant to be hewn from the surrounding rock, so that's why everything was white on white on white. About midway through exploring some of that stuff, Josh and Rick turned some of the stone to metal, applied a rust texture to it, and you got this really cool slate gray with these kind of oxidation in the rock. That really worked well, and it set everything off, and it really portrayed the sharpness in the normal maps on the rock. So I like the look of that, so I kind of let them run with it. They liked it too. Maybe 3/4 of the way through, we took a look at it. It was getting very gray. The rock was gray, the sky was gray, the metal was gray, and one of the ideas that I had was bringing this moss layer down so it feels like this area doesn't get too much sun, it's more damp. Let's bring some greens in there and some different tonal values, and that kind of brightened everything up. It also helped some of the player characters stand out from the backgrounds. Then we said, hey, how can we contrast the two sides? Because the sides were looking very similar as well. We started to bring back the white stuff, and we said, hey, what can we do with this white stuff? Can we make it a quartzy type of rock? The castle architecture would be more pristine and regal, so we kind of left that intact. We brought in the moss to kind of set it off with this like fairy tale green and white look to it, which I think really works well. So it took a little bit of experimentation to come up with what they've got, but I think they nailed it, and in the end, it just works.